right, guys, we're going to take a look at a performance final study guide for both Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 strategies. It says choose one option, A or B, for. Choose one option, A or B, for each section 1 and 2. So it says here, section 1, you complete either A or B, so option A or option B. And then for each section, so then for section 2, you complete either A or B, and you get to pick whichever one that you want, okay? So for the purpose of the study guide, I'll do all of them, but again, remember, you're picking one a page. So either you're doing this question or you're doing this question. And then on the next page, either you're doing this question or you're doing this question. All right, but I'll go ahead and go over all of them because that way you get to pick whatever question that you want to do. So let's say that you are doing option A in section 1. So I'll go ahead and do this really quickly. An error has been made subtracting these two polynomials shown in the work below. Boom. Explain the error that the student has made. Okay, so first I need to find the error. So 8x minus 7x minus 2 minus 6x squared minus x plus 3. So what do we have to do? We have to distribute that in. So it's going to be minus 6x squared. And then that's going to be negative times negative is positive. So that's the mistake right there. And then negative times positive 3 would be negative 3. So actually this is a printout. So there are two mistakes right here. And therefore, explain the error the student has made. The student didn't distribute the student didn't distribute the negative correctly. Because you can see that they didn't change these symbols. Okay, the next question says, show how to correctly subtract those polynomials. Okay, so I've kind of corrected it here, but I'll write it out here. So I just copied down what that is, and I'm actually going to do it. So positives are made in negatives. Positives, they're going to fight. Positives are going to win because they have more people. By how many? By 2. All right, negatives are made in positives, so there's going to be a fight. There are more negatives, so negatives are going to win by 6. And negatives are made in more negatives. They're going to high five and join, so they're going to be more negatives. How many? 5. So that's my answer for, so this is me showing my work for question 2. And then using the simplified expression for question 2, identify the terms and coefficient. All right, so the terms is a number of items. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So how many terms are there? 3 terms. Coefficient is just the number before, for this question, x squared. So x squared, what's that number? 2. Coefficient of x, so the number before x, including the sign or the symbol. So that's negative 6. All right, so that's how you answer section A. It doesn't take you any longer than maybe 1 or 2 minutes. If you were doing section B, so remember you're only choosing one, right? So that one's really quick and really easy, so I would suggest you do that one, but I will show you how to do this. Sam solved this equation here. Boom. Fred made an, Sam, I don't know why it says Fred. Sam made an error between step 1 and step 2. So there's an error somewhere here between these two. Explain the error that Sam made. Okay, so let's go ahead and find it. So we get into here, so that's negative times a positive negative 12. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. 2 times x, 2x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, and then plus 43. So far there wasn't an error there, but there is definitely an error on the next line. So let's see what we did on the next line. Negative 2x, minus 3, negative, this is 2x, 2x. So the only thing that's changed is this right here. Okay, so this has become this, so there has to be an error. So these are negatives meeting positives. What's going to happen? They're going to fight. Who's going to win? Positives are going to win. By how many? By 39. So that's the error, okay? So explain the error that Sam made. He combined negative 4 plus 43 incorrectly. It is supposed to be positive 39. Anything along those lines will work, okay? Then what is the solution to the original equation? Okay, so now that I have my answer here, so this should be positive 39. Let's keep going. What would I do then? I'd move, let me just actually write it on the side. 12x minus 3 equals 2x plus 39. Here's my river. right? Let's move that. Again, it doesn't matter where you move what, right? Because I like positives. I'm going to move. So here's a box, here's a box, here's a circle, right? I move this box to that side, it's going to be positive 12x. And now that's gone. I move the 39 to that side, crosses the river, it's going to become negative 39. And that's gone. So combining negatives, meeting negatives, what's going to happen? They're going to team up and join together. So more negatives, and that's going to be 42. On this side, positive and meeting positives are going to be more positives, so it's going to be 14x. Then divide both sides by 14. And so x is equal to negative 42 divided by 14. Okay, so if you're not doing this with a calculator, you can go ahead and simplify. So I'll do it on the side here. Divide by 2, that's half of 42 is 21. Half of 14 is 7. Then 7 goes into 21 3 times. It goes in 1 time, which is negative 3. Okay, so I just didn't have a calculator, so I'm doing it by longhand. But obviously you have a calculator, so put that in the calculator. Negative 42 divided by 14. All right, so what is the solution to the original equation? X is equal to, and the only number I'm putting there is negative 3, because that is my answer. Show all your work for that question. So I would show this line above it, 12x minus 3 equals 2x minus 4 plus 43. And I would show 4x plus 1 equals 2x minus 2 plus 43 with my arrows, showing Miss Ainley that I know what I'm doing. Boom. So here is my work for question 3, and that's it. All right, so you're choosing one question out of that section. Then you're gonna turn the page and you're gonna choose one question out of this section. So it doesn't matter if you're doing this one or if you're doing this one of the two. So I'll go ahead and do both because I don't know which one you want to pick. All right, so Tonya planted some sunflowers, are tracking the growth of individual plants. The table shows the height of plant T days after she planted a sunflower. So this is time, this is the height. Based on the data, write a function representing the height. So remember y equals mx plus b, where this is what? The y-intercept. This is what? The slope, okay, which is change in y over change in x. So let's find that, the change in y. So this is going to be x, this is going to be y, right? So the change in y, so how am I changing from 4 to 8? I add 4. From 8 to 12, I add 4. From 12 to 16, I add 4. So my change in y is 4. What's my change in x? From 10 to 20, I'm adding 10. 20 to 30, I'm adding 10. 30 to 40, I'm adding 10. So this is 10. Go ahead and put that in a calculator. It will simplify it for you. 2 goes into 4 2 times, into 10 5 times. So my slope is simplified. You know, it always has to be simplified. It's 2 over 5. My y-intercept is where x is equal to 0 or it crosses the y-axis. So I'm going to go look for where x is equal to 0. Now, I don't see where x is equal to 0, so I got to make it, remember? So here's what I have to do. So I know if here x is 10, 20, 30, 40, so it's going up by 10s. If I wanted to go backwards because x is this way, I would just subtract 10. So it'll be 0, negative 10, negative 20, and so forth, right? Because it goes 0, 10, 20, negative 10, 0. Like, I'm just adding 10 each time. So to get the number before, I subtract the 10 to get there. So I subtract 10 to go up, and I add 10 to go down, which means I need this one right here, right? Just I need to go up 1. So if I'm adding 4 to get to the next number, to get to the number here where it's x is equal to 0, all I do is I subtract 4 from that. So y is equal to 0. So it looks like the y-intercept also is y is equal to 0. So when I write my equation, I go y equals m, which is 2 over 5, x, which is x, and then plus b, so my y-intercept is plus 0, so I simplify that to say y equals 2 over 5x.